Update. Am I the a-hole for canceling Christmas after my brothers-in-law threw a fit over me inviting Jane to Thanksgiving and Christmas? Original post. I, 38 female, have been married to my 44 male husband for 15 years. My husband is one of 6 sons. His mother passed away a few years after the youngest was born, and his father passed about 9 years ago. My husband is the second oldest. There's the oldest brother-in-law, 47, with his wife and 2 kids. My husband and me with 3 kids, currently pregnant with our 4th. Brother-in-law, 42, widowed with 1 kid. Brother-in-law, 39, with a girlfriend. Brother-in-law, 37, we'll call him Joe, with ex-sister-in-law, we'll call Jane and 2 kids, and a single brother-in-law, 34. My husband and I are very well off. We both have very lucrative jobs and have made investments that have allowed us to live a very, very comfortable life. We have a big house and are often the family that hosts holidays, which we absolutely love. We spend all week cleaning and prepping for the family to arrive, and they typically stay with us Tuesday to Saturday for Thanksgiving, leave, then come back from the 21st to the 26th for Christmas. Now Joe has been separated, soon divorcing, from Jane for 4.5 years. Over the past few years since Joe separated from Jane, he has brought numerous girlfriends to these holidays. Jane has sometimes come as well, and they are generally pretty cordial. However, recently, this past Thanksgiving, Joe started expressing that he doesn't want to see, nor does he feel he should be forced to be around his ex-wife at holidays. He says that, regardless of whether he has the kids or not, he should be able to come, and she shouldn't be able to come anymore. Why the sudden shift, you might wonder? Well, this year Jane has a serious boyfriend who came with his daughter. I should note that we welcome and open our home to all of our family's significant others. The kids and cousins have all met this daughter because we tend to see Jane a lot outside of holidays, as we do a lot of cousin hangouts and she's the one who always brings the kids. I am not too keen on Joe. To me, he's a scumbag, but everyone tolerates him because family or whatever. In this instance, I stood firm and said that Jane is always welcome at our house. Another reason I especially need Jane is that no one else at these holidays can cook. During the holidays, it's basically me and Jane and my mom. She's my sous chef. We cook and plan meals together for 20+ people, as well as desserts and activities. The other sister-in-law also cannot cook, but we love her, and she usually hangs out in the kitchen chopping vegetables and pouring wine, which is fine because company counts when you're cooking. So I said I thought it was absurd that he would want me to host the holidays by myself and cater to everyone because he felt Jane shouldn't be there now that she has a new partner. As I mentioned, I'm pregnant and had just found out a few weeks before Thanksgiving, so I needed the help. I told him to F off. Thanksgiving came and went, and Joe was a sour hat the whole time. But overall, everyone had a really good time. Now Christmas is coming up, and the same issue is happening. The brothers-in-law are divided. My husband, brother-in-law, 47, and brother-in-law, 42, are on my and Jane's side, while the others are saying I should stop inviting Jane because she is no longer family. I'm like, WTF. That is so incredibly cruel. Also, she's my friend, and y'all are out of your damn minds if you think I'm going to shoulder the holidays by myself. Especially because none of the brothers-in-law actually help. We don't expect or want anyone to contribute, especially if they can't cook. But that doesn't change the physical toll it takes to make all of this happen. My husband, love him, said that this was too much stress for me and that we should just cancel and do something else. We immediately booked a vacation. I then sent a message in the family group chat notifying everyone that we will not be doing Christmas this year and that we will mail all the kids their gifts. Now everyone is up in arms, saying that I shouldn't cancel, and that not having one person there is not reason enough to cancel the holidays, blah blah blah. My husband kind of chewed them out, saying that Jane is not some stranger or random person. She's been part of the family for 20 years, and she and Joe started dating in high school. He also said they don't get to take all the benefits of the holidays, not help at all, and then demand that I do everything alone, just because Joe is in his feelings that she moved on. I told them they could all choke on a candy cane, and if they wanted to have Christmas, they could host, plan, cook, and create the magic with the people they deemed family. So, yeah, am I the a-hole for this? Now for the top comments before reading the update. How would the family feel if Joe stopped coming to holidays because of this, or if they get split in half? Eventually, Jane will probably end up going to her new significant other's family's house for holidays. Also, how does the new SO feel about going to her ex's family's home for the holidays? I'm genuinely curious. Honestly, he's so obnoxious and always wants to be the center of attention. He drinks too much and thinks he's God's gift to ladies. He is attractive, but he has such a crappy attitude. Last Christmas, we got all the kids bikes, and he hopped on his oldest son's bike to show the kids how he could do cool tricks, and ended up running into the stairs and getting the bike wheel stuck. His son was so sad, and he didn't even get to be the first one to ride it. We got him another bike. Ironically enough, it was my husband and Jane's new boyfriend who taught him how to ride it. Whenever he's at events, people are always apprehensive, because he always tries to steal the spotlight. It's exhausting. But when he's being decent, he's actually not that bad to be around. It's just that more often than not, he's that person. Calling her an ex-sister-in-law is just so rude. She's the mother to your nieces and nephews. She will always be your sister-in-law. Forever, she was at the birth of all my children. And every time one of them was born, she would stay over for weeks to help postpartum. She would be homeschooling her kids and helping with mine. My husband said he would disown his brother before he disowned her. My heart couldn't allow me to ice her out. I just don't understand that. She's such a sweet person. I'm not saying she's perfect, but really, she's so kind. Not the a-hole. What do they think you are? A freaking elf? Hell no. And they think that someone who has spent 20 years in the family and has kids in the family is no longer family? Like, what if she has an emergency? They would just let her rot? Go and enjoy your vacation. And congrats on your pregnancy and the nice husband you have, because clearly not everybody is as lucky. I'm writing this and repeatedly thinking, Jesus. All I could think about when they said she's not family was that I pray nothing ever happens between me and my husband because I just know they would kick me to the curb. Such jerks. Especially the youngest brother-in-law. He lived with them for a few years straight out of college, and she was basically taking care of him for at least 3 to 4 years. And again when he got laid off. People's memories are so short. Now for the update 3 weeks later. So I figured I'd give you all an update. Phew, a lot has happened since I last posted, and not all of it has been good. The good, Jane is now engaged to her boyfriend, and she is pregnant. So I also have a bump buddy. We are so excited, both early along, so we really get to do the whole journey together. They had a small party, and it was nice meeting her fiancé's family. They are such lovely people, so warm and welcoming. I'm very happy for her because, as I mentioned in my last post, she doesn't really have any family, and seeing them embrace her so wholeheartedly was beautiful. She doesn't have a big family, but they are solid folks. The bad? A few days after the party, my husband got a call from Jane that Joe had gone off the rails. He was showing up at her house at random hours, trying to talk to her while her fiancé wasn't there and really scaring her and the kids. We had them come stay with us, while my husband and his brothers had an intervention and confronted Joe. We left for our holiday, leaving Jane and my nephews in our home, thinking everything had cooled down. Boy, were we wrong. Joe broke into our home with a weapon, trying to get to Jane. We have 2 Labrador retrievers who do not take kindly to intruders, and unfortunately for him, they attacked him and he was sent to the hospital. It was actually pretty wild that they attacked him, because they know him. I guess they sensed the danger. Ex-sister-in-law ended up filing for a restraining order and is going to petition for full custody of the boys, since he has been so unhinged. It's scary how fast he's spiraling. My husband was furious and immediately agreed to press charges for breaking and entering, which is a felony in our state. This will most likely cause him to lose his job. But my husband said those are the consequences of his actions, and at this point, the safest place for him, and everyone else, might be behind bars. I honestly am scared to think what could have happened if the dogs weren't there to circumvent the danger. Joe is in police custody, and no one really wants to bail him out because they don't want him around their families. The brothers are trying to get him help, but at this point, everyone agrees that he's dangerous. Things have calmed down since then. In spite of the circumstances, we had a very nice tropical holiday. We still haven't told our other kids that they have a sibling on the way, but I think my oldest suspects something. He's been watching me way too closely, but hey, this isn't his first rodeo LOL. When we get back, we plan to host a quiet New Year's Eve party for the family. We want to bring in the new year with the ones we love and try to give everyone something to look forward to. Jane is back at her house with her fiancé. She volunteered to help plan the New Year's Eve party and set up games for the kids. Such a sweetheart. My other brothers-in-law have since apologized to both of us and, as penance, they will be watching all the nibblings and handling cleanup duty for the New Year's weekend. I hope Joe gets himself together, but right now we are focusing on celebrating and ending the year on a positive note. It's a bittersweet ending to the year, but that's how life is sometimes. Happy holidays, Reddit. Ex-sister-in-law is pregnant. A lot of dogs tend to get extra protective of pregnant women, even if the attacker is someone they know. That's my experience anyway. Glad everyone is okay, especially Jane and the kids. That makes sense. I've never known an aggressive retriever and was trying to figure out what happened. But I bet you're right. Protecting the pregnant pack from aggressive males is very common in the animal kingdom. Those puppers better have gotten a reward of steak. I second this. Spoil them absolutely rotten, LOL. I'm not surprised by Joe's actions. When OP mentioned he was bringing other women around and then suddenly took issue with his ex when she got a new boyfriend, I knew he likely had only brought the other women to make her jealous. Typical behavior from guys like him to lose their mind when their target moves on and seems happy without them. Oh my, Joe definitely sounds really dangerous. I'm happy to hear that no one is bailing his butt out. I hope your dogs got some good treats for keeping sister-in-law safe, and I'm so glad they were there to protect her. I'm kind of curious how Joe even knew she was there. It's really unfortunate that he broke into your house. I hope he didn't cause too much damage. Too bad he wasn't in jail prior to Christmas dinner, so you guys could have enjoyed it as a family without having to worry about him showing up and being an a-hole. And congratulations on the pregnancy. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my paternal grandparents on Christmas Day that my brother and I hate them for insulting our dead mom all the time? My mom died when I, 16 female, was 5, and my brother, 18 male, was 7. 2.5 years after my mom died, our dad started dating our stepmother, and he introduced us after they had been dating for 6 months. That meant it was 3 years after mom died. Around that time, my grandparents started saying mom was selfish and a bad mother because she hadn't asked my brother and me or made us promise to love and accept a new mom. They blamed her for us not being happy about our stepmother at first. They blamed her because we said we didn't want her to be our new mom, which is what our grandparents called her. And because Dad then figured out a way for our stepmother to not take on a primary parent role and gave us space to feel however we wanted about her. Dad did admit one time that he hoped we would grow close enough to one day love her and consider her our bonus mom or second mom. But he never pushed for it, and he never made us feel bad about it. Our stepmother kind of expected to take on the primary maternal or mom role since we lost our mom so young. It was an adjustment for her to be a step-parent and to be secondary in the way she would have been if mom were alive and our parents were divorced. But she did settle into it eventually, and things worked out fine. But our grandparents consider it mom's failing that we don't accept our stepmother. Every time we see them, they make some kind of negative comment about mom. Usually my dad is out of the room when it happens, but sometimes he's there and tells them to stop when he hears it. One time my grandmother went on a crazy rant where she said mom was the ultimate selfish, possessive baby mama who couldn't stand the thought of her kids loving and being loved by another woman in a motherly way and didn't set the markers for it to happen. She said mom should have died when we were babies, so we had no memories and were free to move on without her, and that she should be a thing of the past like she was supposed to be, because she was dead. Dad lost it with her that day, and we didn't see them for over a year until my grandmother apologized to Dad. My brother and I weren't in the room, so nobody knew we heard it, but we did. Yesterday was the first time my brother wasn't present for Christmas. He went to our mom's family, and my grandparents were going on and on about how surprised they were that he hadn't come around to visit. They knew he wasn't speaking to them, and for a year or two now they've picked up on the fact that neither of us likes them. But his no-show for Christmas sparked a ton of talk about it. Dad told them it was his choice and all that, but they wouldn't stop. Then they started focusing on the fact that I looked like I'd rather not be there, and how hurtful it was because they love me like they love my brother, and we treat them so unfairly. I got so mad when they said it was unfair, and I told them the reason we hate them so much is because they keep insulting mom. I pointed out that she's our dead mom, not even a living person who can defend herself. I told them we lost all respect and liking for them after that, and the more they said, the more we hated them. My grandmother was speechless, and my grandfather tried to argue back, but Dad told him not to say a word and took me home. My stepmother stayed there for about an hour before she got back. Dad apologized for not doing better and told me he never would have kept them around if he knew we could hear. Then my grandparents started calling and texting all afternoon and night. I think I can still hear Dad's phone ping with text notifications. I know I was talked about and that they told Dad I should be disciplined for speaking to them that way. I told my brother what happened and he said he wished he'd done it, but couldn't stomach seeing them anymore. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. How the heck is a deceased woman to blame for something she could never have had a hand in? Your grandparents are vile excuses for humans, and I would cut contact. I can't understand how hateful they are toward your mom, and the comment that she should have died sooner is something I would never forgive. They think that because she was sick and knew she could die, and likely would at the end of her life, that she should have prepared us. She didn't have a talk with Dad about him moving on either, and that also pissed them off. They felt like we all should have gotten her blessing, and that she should have encouraged him to find another wife, and for us to accept a new mom because she wasn't going to be here. I'm glad you felt comfortable taking them on. The shame is on them, and you handed it back to them in full force. Going forward, I can't see a reason for you or your brother to subject yourselves to that. Stepmom and Dad get bonus points if they side with you and your brother and stop seeing them, as it always turns into you children and your mother, may she rest in peace, being insulted. Your grandparents really don't like you or your mother. There's no need to ever see them again. My brother has already decided he won't ever speak to them or be near them again. When they die, he won't even go to their funerals. If they're on their deathbeds, he won't go to see them even if they ask. He's 100% done, and I feel the same. So whether it's now or in a year and a half when I turn 18, I'll be doing the very same thing.